Hope you're having a great weekend. Datsa here, and today I'll be answering a really important question. The question being, how do you rate yourself on a fundamental level when it comes to a skill? Now before we jump into it, I would just like to say that there's more than one way to rate yourself when it comes to skill. However, I'm going to be putting a fun little twist on it, and I hope you can appreciate it. Now there is usually one simple guideline that I tend to follow, and that is to be afraid of the best version of yourself. Let me explain. The reason you should be afraid of it is because nothing you have as a human being matches up to that best version of yourself. Luck, energy, mindset all play such a huge role in getting this best version, and it's extremely hard to replicate. So what does this leave us with, you might ask? Well, it actually leaves us with comparing ourselves to the worst version of ourselves, and let me explain. This worst version of ourselves is called the default mode, and a friend of mine actually said that it would be called the resting heartbeat mode. Whichever you prefer, that's up to you, but here's the big gist of it. The reason why comparing your best version of yourself to your worst version of yourself is very powerful, and there are a bunch of fundamental reasons behind it, so let me get into that. The biggest one is that under default mode, it breaks you down to only what you're capable of producing when there's nothing but willpower left. It breaks you down to a mixture of intuitive instinct, your fundamental knowledge of producing said product, and your focus on what you think is usually important within the piece itself. You're put in the position where you tend not to overthink things, and you have a larger focus on just getting the thing done, whether it be an art piece, whether it be a music piece, whether it be an actual product, whatever it is. And by the time you're done with this finished product, you're put in the position where you're able to interpret it and really step back and look at it on a level you might not have before. And what I mean is once you step back and look at this finished piece, you're put in the position where you can tell what areas you really focused on, what areas you cared about, what areas you completely disregarded entirely, how much you were able to get done in it even when you had little to no energy left, the whole spectrum. Creating a finished piece when you have no energy left, no focus left, no luck left in your day puts you in the position where you can learn the most, because you're not aiming for your best self. You're not even aiming to get close to your best self. You're just aiming to get something finished. Now the painting you see in the background was actually done on default mode. It was at a point in time where I had no energy or thought or hope left. I was really tired, which was probably the biggest contributing factor for my default mode. So in this position, for this painting, you'll notice that the ground is kind of half-baked, the background's kind of half-baked, even the sky is, and especially the soldier in the back. And my biggest focus was actually on the tank itself. Now some of you may notice that it doesn't really look too much like a tank, and that's part of what my default mode is that when I'm put in the position where I'm in my own default mode, I tend to make things not work in tandem with functionality. I tend to just give them their own interesting shapes, their own little design, and I tend to let them stay that way. So by using my own default mode, and by putting myself in the position to produce a finished piece in my default mode, I was able to really see what areas I needed to improve on. Now if you want to get in specifics, the painting in the background actually only took 2 hours and 40 minutes. It was a fun little piece, and I kind of enjoyed it as I haven't actually made too many up close shots as of recently, so it was kind of nice to zoom in on this kind of non-functional tank. Anyways guys, I hope you liked today's video. I would really love to hear what you think in the comment section below. Have you ever dealt with your default mode? What's your thoughts on default mode? Does default mode even exist? I would really like to know, so please let me know down below. And also, if you wanted to go ahead and share this video with a friend that you think might appreciate this, that would really help me out, as this channel is still very small, and I'd like to get my word out to as many people as I can. Anyways, next week's video is actually going to be on something that you guys suggested to me, and I'm actually one of the biggest worst case offenders of this, so it'll be kind of interesting to talk about. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and until next time, I'll talk to you later.